Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the full 90. I'm joined again by Manny. You would have seen a couple of my previous streams. Also, we've got Raf back for this one. It's a big stream. I wanted to get two other Liverpool reps on because it was such a. I actually wanted to stream last night, but with everything, it was quite late, and I was like, you know what, I'll probably do it tomorrow morning because just recovered about watching that game because how crazy it was. But I'm sure we'll get into it. I want to see what you guys think of it. Obviously, we've not really spoke much about the game, the fallout, etc. But where do you guys want to start, sort of, with this game? Because there's so much we can discuss. Do we discuss the game or the pre-game where all the Isak stuff, the drama? Where do you think we guys should sort of start on this one?
Yeah, I think a good place to start is probably just the build up to it, because obviously it builds the context of the game. And to be honest, yesterday when the game was building up, right, and it was the day of the game, literally like early afternoon, and I'm starting to think about how this game can play out now. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this has been built up quite a bit, hasn't it? Like, I don't think I've seen a Premier League game that's not a title decider or top five, or there's no place at stake.
Or even a derby.
Do you know what I mean? Or even a derby. Like, I've never seen a game built up to this magnitude without it being either a position decider or a derby. So I'm just thinking, like, goodness me, how have we got to this? How have we got to this stage? Like, we just put in a bid for a player that we want to sign. Like, I've never seen grudge matches off the back of this. Do you know what I mean? Like, players want to sign.
Not even just a bid; it was a world record bid for a striker.
For a striker,
yeah, it's a record, a British record.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you'd think that there would be some form of flattery there, at least, or at the very least, just a bit of like nonchalance, like, oh yeah, like we don't care. But yeah, the way they were building it up was insane, and I think the one part that really kind of put the net, like, really made that point was that the co-owner of Newcastle and the Saudi team making tweets before the game, he's getting like into them and all of that. Like, he's really inciting the atmosphere. And it's like, when I saw that, I'm just thinking, guys, like, have you really lost the point of the game? Like, there's just 3 points on the line here. Like, don't lose sight of that. It's just 3 points. And that's what I feel like, that's what us Liverpool fans and the whole club, that's all we really cared about. We just wanted 3 points, but it felt like they saw it as everything. They wanted it to be World War III, World War IV. Like, they took it way beyond a normal football match, and that kind of worked in their downfall, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, looking at all the pre-game stuff, we came into it knowing that it's going to be hostile. They're going to be up for it. St. James Park is normally one of the tougher grounds to go to. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Normally it's quite loud as well, but we knew it was going to be that times 10. But yeah, mentioning that, I think his name is Jamie Rubin, the tweet. I was speaking to Raf about it, that he tweeted into them that comment. He actually deleted that as well. I think he deleted it shortly after the Gordon red card, which is a bit mad. But yeah, it's one of those. I think they were up for it. We knew they're gonna go for it, and you can tell that with the atmosphere, we were gonna have a tough time. But going on to the game, sort of, I want to start getting into like the performances and how we played. In terms of the lineup, were you guys surprised? What did you guys make of the initial thoughts when you heard the lineup?
I think for me, it wasn't really a surprise because obviously we knew that Frimpong was out and Bradley's only just come back. So I kind of had a feeling that Szoboszlai was going to play at right back, like he did in pre-season. That one, I kind of knew that was going to happen. But Mac, obviously, that was a late on that, he didn't go travel with the squad. So that's when I was like, oh, Gravenberch and Curtis, I don't know how that will do against the Newcastle midfield. But apart from that, I was pretty much expected that lineup.
Manny, same as well. No surprises really.
No, yeah, similar to Rav. Like, I think McAllister was a surprise. I was like, up until the day before the game, I was expecting him to play. So obviously, once he's taken out the equation, the team kind of picks itself. I was always of the thought that even if Bradley and Gomez, actually no, not Bradley, because Bradley just came out from injury, so I didn't expect him to start at all. I thought it would be between Gomez and Szoboszlai, and I was always of the thought that I'd rather Szoboszlai play right back for this game. Because I feel like the last couple of times we've played Newcastle, we've had to play kind of like centre back, right backs. Like
Yeah.
both of our fullbacks have been, sorry, both of our right backs have been injured for both of the last two encounters with them, and with that we've really struggled. Like obviously Gordon was left wing those days, and he presses like a maniac, like he did today. Pressed like an absolute maniac. Never seen someone press so much. And honestly, his pressing had me thinking of like Lallana 2017 days. Like
Yeah.
he was running his absolute socks off. So
Yeah.
whoever's playing right wing for right back for us was going to be under a lot of pressure. That is supposed to be an out ball usually, and it could be a real kind of single point of failure if we've got someone on the ball there that isn't comfortable, but also isn't kind of a bit expansive as well. You needed that kind of balance. So I would have rather have risked a bit less defensively by having Szoboszlai there and having him on the ball comfortably than having maybe a centre back or defender that's not quite well versed being on the ball and ball playing. But to be fair, Szoboszlai, like absolutely fantastic performance at right back. Like I wanted him to play right back and I thought he would do a job, but he more than did a job. He was one of the outstanding players on the field. So going forward, he could be a kind of like a third choice, fourth choice right back. He should be in the mix. He's an option there.
Yeah, we'll speak about sort of individual performances, but for me, he was man of the match, closely by Van Dijk. I think those two was little standout players for us.
For sure.
But yeah, when going into the game, obviously it kicks off. I think it's fair to say first 35 minutes, we were sort of all over the place. I don't think we played great. We were sort of struggling to keep up with the pace of the game. Joel Linton, Bruno, Tonali getting onto our midfield. And yeah, we just didn't look at the races. But then I'd say against the run of play, Gravenberch gets the ball, fires a bottom corner, and we're 1-0 up. So, I mean, when that goal went in, what was your sort of around that period, that 35 minutes? What were you thinking? In terms of how we were looking, and then obviously Gravenberch scoring the goal, and it was a great finish, to be fair.
Yeah, no, top. So obviously, the first 35 minutes or so, it's exactly what I expected from the game. Genuinely, wasn't the slightest bit shocked or even that disappointed with how it was going. Like, do you know what it is? Obviously, we start the game now. The atmosphere already looked pretty mad.
Yeah.
Like, you see it through the TV. Like, the atmosphere looked insane. Obviously, in the tunnel, all the Newcastle players looked very locked in. I was watching Bruno Guimaraes, who was obviously leading the team out. I was watching his face the whole time, and he just looked like a man possessed already in the tunnel. Do you know what I mean? So from when I was seeing these kind of things, I was like, okay, we're gonna have to weather a bit of a storm here. We're gonna have to weather a bit of a storm, and we 100% did. They went man for man, literally all over the pitch. Like every single one of our players, for the most part, had somebody touch tight to them.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? And it's not just any players. Like anyone can tell their team, like, oh yeah, just go man for man, and they'll probably easily get picked off because they don't have the fitness levels or the physicality. Newcastle fitness and physicality is their whole game. It's their whole game. It's their whole tactic. It's their whole ethos. So sometimes you need to pick your battles, and obviously it's all well and good knowing what's coming. It's not even said in the pre-match like interview. He was like, I expect them to go man for man all over the pitch. So it's not like he wasn't prepared for what was going to come, but it's one thing being prepared, it's another thing dealing with it. And I think we just found it really, really tough. I think from when Gravenberch picked up the ball, that was probably our only spell of possession in that time in the game. That was our only time, and you could even feel it as well. I was like, okay, well, we've actually got the pitch a bit. We've got a bit of like settled possession for once. And then Gravenberch gets the ball. It looks like he's trying to find an option for a pass. And yeah, he just sees the option wasn't really on. And to be fair to him, big him up. Like from those situations, get your shots off. Like you're not going to get many opportunities to get shots off against this defense, especially when they're pressing so high at the pitch. So yeah, he took the shot, got his first goal of the season, really, really big for him. And to be honest, I was delighted. Like obviously a lot of people might have thought, oh, like we've got away with one, or you know what I mean, like oh, I was undeserved, all of that. Obviously, all of those things were true, but in those situations, take the lead. And the thing is about Liverpool, no matter if we're on the cosh, if we're 100% dominating, no matter what the game state is, give us a little bit of good play, and we can score anytime in the game, no matter what it is. And that's what we should really give ourselves credit for, because as much as we don't play great all game long, one of the big things that Liverpool have that other clubs don't have is that it doesn't take us long to score a goal. Like, we can score a goal in any phase of play, any phase of the game, and that Gravenberch goal just proved that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I 100% agree. So obviously Gravenberch 1-0 up, and then I mean shortly after that, towards the end of the half, I think Gordon goes and makes that challenge on Van Dijk. I don't know if you guys initial thoughts. I thought straight away it was a red. It looked like a stonewall red to me. And then we always said, this is type of game where players could lose their heads. It's about staying calm. And obviously Gordon sort of overstepped that enthusiasm, going into press, chasing, and then he was late on Van Dijk. But yeah, you guys think clear red from the off? No debate there.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty clear. I don't know why the ref even hesitated, gave a yellow, and then goes to VAR. Like, I thought that was just so clear that it was a red. I don't know how people are saying that it's not a red. Like, the guy,
it's a clear red.
Stud marks on the back of his calf. So yeah, that was a clear red. So stupid from him as well.
Very, very brainless. Like, to be fair, when I was watching it live, because Van Dijk passed the ball and the camera started to pan with him, the only thing I kind of just saw was just Van Dijk go up in the air.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, that is a late challenge. I didn't know if it was a red card or not. I just knew that it was really late.
Yeah.
First replay shown, it is the most stonewall red you can see. Yeah. And the thing is, right, a lot of Newcastle fans I've seen online kind of arguing, kind of like, oh, like he tried to pull out, or like, oh, we didn't get like full into the. It's like, bruv, do you know how fast the guy was running? If you look at where he started running from, he ran from literally one side of the pitch all the way to Van Dijk at full pelt, and he goes into the challenge. And the thing is, no matter how he tries to pull out, he's going so fast that it doesn't even matter. And the fact that he made contact and then he actually fell over as well, like the Gordon that is, the fact that he fell over as well afterwards, it showed that he was not a single bit in control of himself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and the fact that he tried to pull out and still clattered Van Dijk like that shows how out of control he was. So, yeah, I think Anthony Gordon, like, he was definitely susceptible to a red card. Because the thing is with Anthony Gordon, obviously for him, playing against Liverpool is a massive thing. Like, he's, I would even say, he probably doesn't want to admit it now, but he's still a big red. Like, you don't just lose these things. He's from the city. That's always been his club. And obviously, I heard a little side note. Obviously, Eze mentioned that when he played against Arsenal for Palace, every single game for him was a trial. He was on audition to play for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the same for Gordon now, because obviously kind of stuff's happened and he's kind of lost out on his chance in that.
Yeah.
But I feel like, for me as a Liverpool fan, after scoring for Liverpool, what would the best feeling be? Be scoring against Liverpool, to be fair.
Yeah.
So he's extra motivated for this occasion already. Before all of this Isaac stuff, before all this occasion, he's already extra motivated to play Liverpool. He always plays well against us, or he always kind of puts himself about against us. So I had a feeling if anyone was going to get a red card, it may have been him anyway, because I thought he was going to be amped up. And I think the crowd were really getting him up. They really loved the pressing and energy. But that's, again, another example of how the build up to the occasion, overspilling, cost them the game. Because if they just kept their cool heads and they were being calculated about it, they could have had 11 men on the pitch. And Gordon was their best player on the day. And he got sent off, which was obviously really, really poor for them.
Yeah, it was a brainless challenge, to be fair. He didn't need to make it. It sort of cost his team completely. And if it's 11-11, who knows? They could have maybe got a point at least. Going on to sort of individual performances, we mentioned Szoboszlai already. I thought he was great. I thought Van Dijk was sort of a colossus, winning everything in the air. Rio, obviously, I want to come on to as well, have a chat about Rio. Because he obviously 16 comes on for, I think it's his debut as well. So
it was his debut, yeah.
What a sort of way to announce yourself on the big stage. What sort of player stood out to you, Manny? I mean, apart from obviously Szoboszlai, anyone else sort of stand out to you? Or
yeah, obviously, in a game like this, usually there's not too many standouts because they're so many and so kind of kind of messy. But yeah, no, gotta give a big shout out to Van Dijk.
Yeah.
I could tell from the beginning of the game that he stood up to the occasion. Without him today, we would have been in real hot water. And I feel like at the moment, defensively in general, we're giving him a lot of work to do. With Van Dijk, he's of late, something that really annoys me as well is like he doesn't actually get the credit he deserves. It's like you're talking about people saying, I see people saying like, oh yeah, Van Dijk isn't quite what he was before, like he's falling off a bit. And I'm just like, look at the level this guy is at. If this is called falling off, then your defenders were never on, because this level that he's showing right now is top against the cauldron that was St. James's Park. They're throwing balls into our box every opportunity. Every free kick, no matter where it is on the field, is getting launched into our box. Especially when they went down to 10 men, they were using that as their kind of real cornerstone. And Van Dijk was just winning header after header, clearance after clearance.
Yeah.
Konate, who on the other hand had a really poor game, he was really bailing him out, because he was the only one of our players that could really kind of dominate our box. So yeah, he was absolutely amazing, and I think he's been really good in both the games in the Premier League. To be honest, I don't think he should get any blame for the defensive mishaps that have been put on. I want to say Ekitike. I want to have a little word on Ekitike. What a player, what a start he's had at this club. I was always a big fan of Ekitike, so you know, I kind of half expected him to have a positive start at Liverpool. I know that he kind of polarized opinion before he came to the club. Some people saying that like, oh, it's XG underperformed, comparing him to Nunes, rubbish like that. I'm thinking, yeah, just wait till he comes and you'll see the levels. And do you know what I love about him? It's just the nonchalance. Do you know what I mean? Like the guy's just so calm in everything he does. Do you know what I mean? Like every time he gets the ball in front of goal, he's not panicking, he's not rushing. He's just, okay, I want to put the ball there, I'm gonna put it there. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just simple and he just executes it. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I think obviously you don't want to go too hard on the guy, and still best of luck to him like Al Hilal wherever he went. But obviously we're coming back off the Nunes experience, you know what I mean? And with Nunes, respectfully, like when the ball falls to him, you're not even sure if he's going to hit the ball clean, let alone if it's going to hit the target. Do you know what I mean? Like with Ekitike, you know he's got that finish in his bag and his link up with the rest of the team. And I think that in a game like this, you really kind of see what he's about. You know what I mean? You find out where you are in terms of the Premier League. You're up against Dan Burn, Shaw, and these guys were flipping celebrating every tackle and interception that they made. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Ekitike, the way he stood up to that challenge, managed to get his goal, and he was making challenges, he was making duels, he was putting himself about. I think as far as a signing, I can't fault a single thing from Ekitike since joining Liverpool. He's had a brilliant start. Brilliant.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add to that. For me, he's looked the sharpest out of all our players in terms of like match fitness, match sharpness. He looks the one that's the touch is there, the pass, the weight of pass, everything's there for me so far. So yeah, he's looked quality, and he's sort of exceeded what I even thought of him. I did rate him, so I wanted Ekitike. So, but even then, he's got done a lot more than I even thought he would. But yeah, going on to Rio Raf, speak to me about that sort of winning goal, because 16, you're coming into a, sort of a bear pit of an atmosphere. Last kick of the game, it's 2-2. I don't know what you guys thought, but when we were bringing on Chiesa and Rio, I was like, I wasn't confident. I'll be honest with you guys. I thought, you know, do we want to be relying on a kid? But if you're good enough, I guess they say. What was your thought when you came on? The way he sort of, he looked like he's been doing it sort of his whole career.
I was kind of like the same as you as well. It was you could see that he was, you know, stripped down and ready to come on. Like after they scored that equalizer, the camera panned to slot and he's just standing there behind it. And I was thinking, first of all, I was thinking, cool, you know, you can bring him on, but the way these men have been playing, I'm shook that he's gonna get some sort of an injury. That was my first thought. Then I thought, okay, cool. We just need energy. We just need to put our foot on the ball and actually make shit happen, and he's gonna do that. So yeah, when he came on, that first bit of dribble that he had when he got the ball on the left, and he started running at the right back, and then he got doubled 2-man on him, and then that's when I was like, okay, cool. He tried going at one. The second guy came, and then he was like, nah, I'm gonna carry on. So he still went down the line trying to put a cross in. So that from that alone, I was like, okay, cool. He still has that confidence, even with this atmosphere, this kind of game, 2-2 game on the balance. Like he still got that confidence to go at defenders himself and actually try and make things happen.
Yes, it's credit to Slot for actually bringing him in, because it's to put to bring someone like Rio in at that period of the game. I thought it was risky, but it's paid off massively. And the build up, even the Szoboszlai sort of the dummy, I thought that was class.
Well,
and then he finishes it.
I'm gonna say it's the best piece of football literally the whole game.
It's low key. If you guys watch it back, it's low key one of our best goals under Slot for me. Like the way we
100%.
passed it around, it's a top
100%.
goal. Like
that's what I was gonna say as well. It's just the build up from the start, from the keeper. Like it started literally from Alisson, and then it went to Kirkes, and then it was just slowly building up, like going from left to right. It was honestly,
Van Dijk touched it, Konate touched it, I think.
Yeah,
Salah gets the assist. For me, that's a Szoboszlai assist, even though he didn't touch it. Like
100%.
Do you know what it is as well? Like it's just crazy, because it's like, you're totally right. That is one of our best Slot goals, and that is probably what Slot himself would call a Slot goal. And it's do you know what's mad? It's like all it takes is for you as a group of players to just calm yourselves down and just have the presence of mind. Obviously, it's easier near the end of the game, tired legs and these kind of things. But in reality, we could have been playing like that since they went down to 10 men. Like we just didn't have the patience, we didn't have the composure. And to be honest, Elliot and Chiesa actually made a positive impact, like both of them. I feel like when Elliot comes on, because he's so orientated to go to the right-hand side, he's doing all his operations over there, which means that Salah's in the game more. Bradley was getting in the game more. Even Bradley coming on kind of got Salah in the game more. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when we made those changes, when they first happened, it didn't help us at all. But then once the game state kind of calmed down and we conceded that equalizer, we reset ourselves. It's like they just played with a bit of like calmness. It's like, okay, do you know what? We fucked around here, but let's go finish this. Do you know what I mean? Let's go finish this game. And when they put their minds to it, they just score. And that's the beauty, and it's almost like the beauty and the curse of Liverpool. It's like we can score goals at will. So then you're asking yourself, like, why do we do some of the stupidness that we do sometimes in the game? Because when these guys put their heads into it, they can play through a team and they can bag at the end of it. So just hopefully we find that consistency. Obviously in this game, I don't know about you guys, like I promise you, I don't care about the performance. I didn't care, because the thing is, it's just such a hard place to go, and no one can replicate what that game meant to them. Do you know what I mean? Like they were motivated for this game. The only other motivation they'll have is if they're going to play cup finals or try get next rounds of Champions League. Like you can't replicate that kind of motivation that Newcastle had to beat us that day. So I think we should really give ourselves credit for getting out of there with a W. I wasn't expecting that. I was so happy to take a draw before the game, and to get out with a win, it does show their character.
I think that's what I was going to say as well. For the narrative right now is, we played poor and we came out of it with a win. But I was looking at it as we actually went to St. James's Park. They didn't allow us to play our football at all. Like the only times that we did, we scored. The Gravenberch's first goal, we had a 5-minute period of keeping the ball, passing it, moving it, got the goal. Same with the Katike. We started off and then ran straight through the middle and had that bit of composure. And then same with the third goal. So like the only 3 times that they allowed us to actually play our football, we've gone and scored our goals. So I think for us to come out of that with a result like that, I think it's way more bigger than how people are like claiming it to be, like, we played bad, whatever. Like I think it genuinely, like, as bad as it was to watch, like some parts of it, but to just get out of that hostile atmosphere with 3 points, I think massive credit to the players.
Yeah, no, it's a big win. It's only game week 2, but it does already feel like a massive 3 points, and
Yeah.
it feels like that every week now as we get closer to May, which is kind of mad. I'm saying this so early, but yeah, every 3 points now already it feels big. I do want to touch, playing a bit of devil's advocate. I do want to touch on sort of our deficiencies or maybe some of our weaknesses. I do want to get your thoughts on some of the plays, sort of defensive concerns that we may have. I do want to touch on the defense or what you guys think of the balance or the shape of the team at the moment, because that's 2 games now. I think that's was it 4 conceded,
Mm.
4 conceded in 2 games. I think we
3 games,
conceded.
6 conceded if you like
Yeah,
count
we
Palace.
conceded
Oh yeah,
2
but
game.
if I, just
Yeah.
counting the Prem, 4 goals I think now in 2. Last season we had conceded 1 in the first 8, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last season, obviously, we'll come on to in terms of defense and whatnot. But what do you guys put it down to in terms of? Are we just leaky? Is it the formation? What do you guys put down to? We have not looked, I would say, watertight at the back.
Nah.
That's fair to say.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair, and I feel like it's a multitude of different reasons. I don't think there's like a kind of standout kind of thing that we're not doing well. I feel like if you go back over the last 3 or 4 games, including preseason, we'll concede 2 goals, but it's like each week will be something different. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, Bournemouth, we could not defend counterattacks to save our lives, and we're giving the ball away in stupid areas. This game, I actually think we defended the counters really well, and we didn't concede as many counter-attacking opportunities.
Yeah.
This game, it was set pieces. Set pieces was the downfall. And the first goal, for example, so it's going to be, first of all, we've got different personnel in the back 4. So that's never going to be smooth sailing unless, fortunately, everyone just hits the ground running, which you can't guarantee. Kerekes has had a bit of a shaky start to his Liverpool career. I think yesterday he is getting a bit overcooked. Like, I don't think he was actually that bad yesterday, generally. I think, like, in terms of general defending, he wasn't that bad. But for the goal, for Bruno's goal, really, really poor. Like, that was poor enough to almost, like, overshadow the general game he had. Because he was like, what are you trying to do there? Like, you're not that much smaller than Bruno. Bruno's not a massive guy. So either you attack the ball and contest it with him. If you contested it with him and you lost the header, you probably would still get a bit of criticism, but you wouldn't get as much as you're getting now. But he kind of tried to like just darken, like it's like it was an attempt to put him off, but he didn't do anything to put him off. Like, he just gave him a free header essentially.
It looked like he just tried to hold him, like basically hold him so that he doesn't fly in for the header.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. Like, instead of contesting it, he was like, let me just keep him in that position that he's at, then he won't get to the header.
Can't score from it.
Backfired.
It really, really backfired, and it's like it was disappointing because, like, with Kerekes, I really, really like him, and I've got big faith in him. I think he's still shown, even yesterday, that he will definitely come good for Liverpool. Like, no qualms with that whatsoever. But as a new signing, you want to just have like 3 or 4 games in a row of just like nothing happened down your side, just smooth yourself into it, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, obviously, hopefully he kind of settles himself down, and he plays well in the next couple of games, because you just want the new signings to settle in as quick as they can, really. Also, in terms of the defense as well, Konate, really, really disappointing of late, man. Like, against Bournemouth, he was noticeably poor, and in this game, he was noticeably poor as well. Like, his head doesn't seem in it. Like, he doesn't seem locked in. And
contract
it's like,
talks, Madrid, anything to do with that, you reckon, or just?
To be honest, I don't even know. Like, it'd be very easy to kind of blame it on that.
Yeah.
But Konate has always had like a bit of if you were going to criticize him for everything, is that some games he just isn't switched on, or like it's just a bit lapsed. Like, he's just, you know what I mean? He doesn't seem like all there at the time. And
but it's always a situation where it's like 1 game out of 15 where he's like that, not back-to-back games.
Not back-to-back, exactly that. He would have the odd game like that, and you're like, oh god, and every now and then Slot might even have taken him off. But like now, it's like from the minute, and you can tell he's gonna have a bad game from the minute the game starts, because like his first couple of passes are his first touch is really like janky, and his first pass is like a bit of a stitch, and you can just tell he's gonna have a bad game. And we're in a situation right now where we thought that our depth was going to be bad because of Konate's injuries. Now it's actually because of his form. You know what I mean? Like, if fit or not, we can't even have him in the starting lineup as things are going. So,
yeah,
I feel like Konate's form is also a big reason why we're struggling a bit, because if, like yesterday, if Van Dijk's not clearing that ball or heading that ball away, who is? No one is.
Yeah.
It's one of them getting to it. So, you've got to look at those things.
One thing I want to just add as well on the defense, from what I've seen very early on, obviously I do rate Kirkez. I think he's going to be a great signing long term. He's only 21. But I've seen the role we're playing him with is completely different to what he did at Bournemouth. Whereas from what I was watching when he was at Bournemouth, he was literally Robertson. He was just going to the byline, cutting it in, crossing it. Whereas now in the build-up, we're asking him to be a third centre back, sort of tuck in next to for the build-up. And I'm not sure that's like the best part of his game. I think he's better sort of flying forward, but he hasn't got that license at the moment. I think we are trying to use him more deeper in the like a third centre back, and then I think the Szoboszlai is sort of inverting and going more forward, and Frimpong as well. So that's one thing I've noticed. And another thing with Konate I've noticed, the guy that should not be named 66, he did help Konate a lot in terms of the build-up, because now Konate, I'd say Konate is a world-class centre-back, but if there's one thing about his game that he's not amazing at, I think is his ball-playing ability. And now that Trent's gone, we can't build out at the back as well. And I think Konate did rely quite a bit on Trent in that way, sort of coming at the ball at the back. So that's the only thing I think where we could maybe looking at a Gahey, why I would be interested, because Mark Gahey for me is very good at bringing that ball out the back, and sort of beating that one, like the Matip sort of run he can go on. Because I do think Trent did offer us that, going deep and coming at the ball. So yeah, just those two things I think we've got to watch out.
Yeah, 100%. But like, I feel like with Konate as well, obviously that's another reason why I said playing Szoboszlai there would be the best bet, because at least you've got a midfielder like next to you that you can give the ball to under pressure. And they did try that a few times. But yeah, I feel like with Konate, like he lost the header to Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
Like you can't legislate for these things. Like you cannot be losing headers to Anthony Gordon. Like when you look at stuff like that, you have to look at yourself in the mirror, bro. I can't lie. Like you need to just look at yourself and be like, I'm not at it at the moment. And obviously, like, always have to caveat it with the fact that, like, obviously these guys are still grieving their friend Jota. It's not easy for any of these guys to deal with it. So obviously I'll always caveat any criticism with it could always be that they've not quite kind of come back round. It was only like not even up to 2 months ago that happened. So always have to make sure that's a mention. But I think Konate, if he goes home and looks at himself at the moment, he's got to make sure that he patterns up, because he just needs to be a lot more aggressive. Like, you're 6'5" or 4, whatever it is. You're so quick. You know what I mean? You're so athletic. Like, you've got to be dominating games. Like, people shouldn't be getting change out of you. And it's like everyone's getting change out of him at the moment. So I feel like even just that little improvement, even just Konate just getting back to the levels of last season makes a big difference to us defensively.
Yeah, I do think he'll get back up there. I'm not convinced. I'm not worried. Sorry, I should say long term. Like, I think we'll get back to those levels, and I'd expect him to get that early season form back. But it's just one to watch with Konate. In terms of somewhere else, I think I've seen criticism for Wirtz, which I want to touch on as well a bit, which I think is a bit unfair. But let's have that discussion. Everyone's sort of loving to talk about it at the moment. What do you guys make of Wirtz's first 2 games? What do you guys make of his performance, and where do you guys think we are not utilizing him, maybe seeing the best of him?
I thought first half it was quite bad. Like, I love the guy, but I can't even, like, I had to sit there and be like, nah, you're doing some funky stuff here. Like, there was that one pass that he tried, I don't know if you guys remember, where he tried to play a first time pass down that way, like to so we can start an attack, and it hit his other foot, and it went back. I saw that and I was like, oof, that one was peak. But
that's one for the
second half, that one was, I know they were doing that Ronaldinho watching that one. But second half, I wasn't like, it wasn't like an amazing performance, but he done what we kind of know that he does. Getting things ticking, dropping deep, getting the ball, picking up, releasing pressure. Like he done all those stuff very well. Obviously, we didn't buy him to do that. That's what where majority of his criticisms is coming from. But I think in the second half he definitely was a lot better than that first half, and I think it's also the intensity of the league. He's just not used to it, and especially the way Newcastle were pressing. Like how Manny said, they went man to man, and if he's always got someone on him, whenever he gets the ball, there's someone behind him, but then there's also someone in front of him trying to close him down. So it was just like a mix of that. That I'd say kind of made his performance bad. But second half, I was much happier.
Yeah, do you know what it is as well with Wirtz? I feel like we've played 2 league games, and both games we've not really had any period of sustained, possession. when you're possession, when you're the defense is pinned back and you're sort of playing it around the 18-yard box, and that's where Wirtz is at his best. But we've not had, I don't think, many chances to do that in the first 2 games, where we're just popping it around outside the 18-yard box, trying to when we played the low blocks. I think that's when you're going to see him when he's got a bit more time to thread 100%. The passes. Because the 2 games we've played have just been chaos, and not really any control in the game. I never felt, yesterday we had any control really of that game. Some might say he should be bringing that control, but I do think when you
can't, not in an atmosphere like that.
Yeah, and that's why I think we've not seen him at his best, because those 2 games we've not had the control at any moment really. It's been a lot of counterattacks, set pieces, end-to-end stuff. So I'm not worried though in terms of long term. I think he's going to be an absolute amazing player for us. So
you can tell the stuff that he's doing is just not familiarity with the league. You can tell that this is not what he's used to. It's nothing to do with his ability. It's not like he's just turned into a really rubbish player overnight. You can still see that he's got bags of quality there. It's just the time. Just needs a bit of time.
Yeah, 100%. I think as much as obviously for social media and general narrative, people say that because you're 116 million, you don't need time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you come to reality, young player, played in Germany all his life. Do you know what I mean? He's coming to a completely different league, different intensity, and he's playing for a different team. And to be honest, let's be frank, we played 2 of the most intense teams in the league running. Do you know what I mean? No team runs more than Bournemouth. That's a fact. In the Premier League, no team runs more than them. And there's probably no team as strong and physical as Newcastle. So as far as blooding yourself into the Premier League, and you know what? I'm happy that Slot played him and he had that blooding in, because a lot of people were saying oh no, play him on the left, or maybe don't start him. And it's nah, do you know what? You just got to throw him in the deep end and let him figure it out. Do you know what I mean? Let him figure out what it is to play in this league, and he will eventually do that. Apologies. Yeah, he will eventually do that. Do you know what I mean? So it's just about getting him used to it. I think he's taken a bit. Sorry, guys. Apologies. Keep getting. But anyway, yes, it just takes him literally getting used to the league. Obviously, I feel sometimes as well, the referees are being a bit harsh. He's getting fouled. I feel they're taking the piss a bit, because
Joe Linton, I think, one of the early on went in on him.
He whacked him.
He was literally just from the side, just barged him out the way. Yeah, no ball was getting on, and I was you obviously, because it's Joe Linton and this is Florian Wirtz, you're thinking, oh yeah, welcome to the Premier League. I'm not going to give a foul for that. But in reality, these are fouls. I think he's getting a bit of a hard time with that, to be honest. So yeah, no, I'm not worried about Wirtz. Like I've said, when you see him get any sort of time on the ball and he's picking his passes, you can tell he's class. The way the pass. Do you know what I mean? The way that for Ekatike's goal, guy was just flicking it around the corner, running with it. It's and I feel in the second half, he just simplified his game. And I think in the early stages of your Liverpool career, just simplify your game. I feel in the first half, he got frustrated because we had no control, like I said. And in terms of him, he's probably frustrated. He's oh God, we're getting battered here. I cost
Yeah.
116 million. I need to take control of this game.
Yeah.
And you can see he was dropping in deep and he was trying to dribble through when he shouldn't be dribbling. And he was trying to take a few more touches, like calm the game down. And I understand the sentiment. I appreciate like what he's trying to do there. But yeah, I think in this early stage of his Liverpool career, he should just focus on one touch, two touch, just playing one touch, two touch, getting into space, trying to find these passes. I think if he starts with that and finds his flow, then he'll get a grips of the pace of the league. He'll know when to start dribbling. He'll know when to put his foot on the ball. And this just all comes with time. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, in terms of the outside world, they might not be giving him grace period and be trying to get onto him. But I think as Liverpool fans, we should give him the time that he needs, and he'll come good.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely agree. I do want to quickly chat about some transfers and stuff as well, because it's fair to say, I don't know if you guys saw before the game, Slot's comments. I think Paul Joyce tweeted something about the forward options. Are you happy? And Slot kind of said, you know, he's got 6 options up front. He said, I've got Gakpo, Rio for the left. I've got Ekatike and Chiesa for the middle. And I've got Salah and Frimpong. He used as a 6th man up as a attacking lineup. But a day before that, he also said, I'm looking for a forward sort of thing. So he sort of contradicted himself. I do want to get your guys' thoughts, because I know Rio came on and he was great, and he came on and scored. What are your thoughts on our attacking sort of depth? And do you guys think we're short? Like, where do you guys think we need to strengthen? Obviously, there's still a week left of the window. What do we need to do, Manny and Raf? What do you guys think?
I think we are at this moment in time, as we speak, we are short. In terms of what I think we will do, I think it will be Isak, and that will be it. I think that will be the final attacking signing. Am I happy with that? Relatively. I like Ekatike, Isak, Salah. I like that up front three like that. I think Gakpo is a nice option to have as well in terms of something different. What I don't kind of like and what I wish we did have is that I think we do need a bit of variety in terms of style. I think we've now, because before, the great thing about our team last year was for all of their faults, they weren't all perfect, but between like the 6 attackers that we had, they all brought something different. So Gakpo and Salah were more ball to feet players. They wanted the ball to feet. They were looking to either dribble, being Gakpo, or Salah was looking to pass or get it back and shoot. Diaz was more of a running behind player. Do you know what I mean? Like, he can play with it to feet, but he was always a willing runner in behind stretch teams and always gave that option of the ball over the top. Same with Nunes. Jota was a bit of both. You know, he could play the deep, he could run in behind, he could kind of do a bit of everything. But now it feels like we're really orientated to kind of ball to feet players. I feel like we've sold Diaz, which I personally didn't want to do. Like I said it in one of the last shows I've done with you guys. Like, I personally would have kept Diaz, and I was quite disappointed that he left, and even more disappointed that we haven't tried to replace him with someone similar, because like, you can't replace blistering pace. Like, blistering pace in football is something that you can't really train against. It's either you have it or you don't. And if your attacker is just keeps making runs in behind and he's quick and he's strong, that is something already that can really, really cause defenses trouble. And I feel like we don't have that option right now. Even Rio as a young kid, like, he's very ball to feet. He wants the ball to feet. He wants to get the ball deep and he wants to run with the ball past defenders, which is great. But I feel like we may lack that option. And maybe Frimpong might be that option in terms of something versatile with just pure pace and just running in behind. But with what Slot said, I know he's doing a political answer, which what managers do. But with stuff like that, I just find it so crazy that you can even say that stuff like publicly, because it's like, you've already said Frimpong's your right back cover. You're now saying he's your right mid cover, and then Works is your number 10, but he's also your left wing cover. And then it's like, so all it means is that if a couple of players get injured, that plan just falls away. So it's like, I feel like maybe Slot knows that he's looking for a forward, and maybe like Hughes might have told him like, oh, like, just be careful what you're saying in the media, because like, we might not get anyone and it might, look a bit bad. It might look like we didn't back you, that kind of stuff. So I think they're just trying to control the narrative a bit there. But yeah, I think Isak will do. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's 130, he'll do. You know what I mean? He'll do. But I feel like if I had it my way, I would still have one more versatile player that focuses more on off the ball runs and has pure physical attributes as opposed to ball to feet. but I don't know if that was a platinum slot.
Are we all confident in Isak that it gets done come 1st September?
I'm like 70,
not.
I'm like 70, 30, I'm like 70,
Okay.
30, 70% confident. I'm not as confident as I was before, but
Okay.
I feel like there's the murmurings like in the background make it sound like something's got to give. And also, like you heard the story, like obviously the delegates from PIF that came to the game obviously went to his gaff and
House.
basically gave it the assault charge of trying to keep him at the club, and it didn't work. And to be honest, like the way I'm thinking about it now is like I've never, first of all, I don't think I've seen a player go to these lengths to leave a club. I don't think I've seen it personally. Also, the fact that he's completely doesn't care about the backlash that he's getting. Like apparently he literally couldn't care less about the backlash he's getting. Like he just wants to move to Liverpool. That's it. And that I think that's just insane. Like that mentality. When you got someone that's just so headstrong in terms of just I want to go to Liverpool. I don't care what contracts you put in front of me. I don't care what you say. I don't care if all the fans hate me. I just want to go there. Like I feel like at some point you just got to be like, what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? Like you're fighting a losing battle, and they're just going to eventually need to do something. Also, I think Newcastle will sign Strand Larsen. I think that's something that will advance. And these guys are saying like, oh yeah, we need to sign 2 strikers. I think we could sign Isak even if they buy 1 striker. Personally, I think if it gets to deadline day, they might look at it.
So the thing about the 2 strikers thing is they keep saying, I keep hearing Newcastle fans say, oh, he's going to be the Callum Wilson replacement. But I'm thinking Callum Wilson's played like 5 games in the last 3 seasons. Like, what do you mean you need a Callum Wilson replacement? He barely plays.
You can replace him from a kid from the academy.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I saw that Osarula guy, bro, that came out against us. He's decent, bro. They're acting like that guy doesn't exist. Like he's a striker. He played well. He literally came on the field. He gave us a handful. I'm like, to boost him up, get a striker, you're good to go. But it's like they're just nip. Then it's like, oh no, I don't want this. Oh, I don't want that one. Oh, that Nicholas Jackson. Oh, I don't know if he's good enough. Bruv, humble yourselves. Crazy.
Yeah, I think it gets done, you know. I'm more 50-50 now, but I still think it gets done by 1st of September. I think they'll get Strand Larsen in, and I think he's burnt his bridges and it's gone too far, and it's causing you can tell Eddie Howe doesn't really want him there. I think it's the owners that are more, you know, we want to be seen that we're not being bullied, etc. by Liverpool, and they want to keep him. But I think Eddie Howe, if you ask him really, he probably wants him gone because he's getting asked about Isak every press conference.
Every single one.
And if you guys remember, back in 2017 when we had the Coutinho situation, Klopp actually wanted Coutinho to go at that period, but it was actually John Henry that demanded he stays. So I think it's one of those situations where it's literally out of Eddie Howe's hands, and it will come down to PIF. And we know with the Arabs, they want to be seen that they're not getting bullied. They want to see they're getting their good price, etc. So I think in the end, it happens, but it could go literally deadline day. It could be one of those.
They'd be very stupid, in my opinion, and this is taking all Liverpool bias out of it. Seeing how the situation has transpired, like they would be very stupid not to entertain talks for Isak at this stage. Like, first of all, your chances of getting him back playing and with his head in it, I would say it's next to impossible. I don't see that as a possibility. Some people are saying like, oh yeah, just bring him back, apologize, get his head down. He won't want to miss the World Cup is what I always hear. Oh yeah, he won't want to miss the World Cup. He's going to the World Cup regardless. Even if he didn't score a single goal this season, he's going to that World Cup. So let's forget about that. Secondly, like you are not going to, like, first of all, if he comes back, like he's not committed to your club. He's not committed to your fans. He's not committed to his teammates. And he's not committed to the project that you're doing. So if you force someone to stay, it just kind of defeats the purpose of your project, because you want players that want to play for you, surely. Like, that's why with Coutinho as well. Once we kind of seen that he was so desperate to leave, and like he was really desperate to leave, it's like just let him go, man. Like we don't want players that don't want to play for us. Like I've never been one that wants players that don't want to play for us. As soon as you want to leave, go and we replace you. Simple as for me.
I think it's also there's going to be like one of two situations now. I think situation one is he leaves and joins Liverpool, or B, that he signs a contract extension with a release clause, like a Morgan sort of so not Morgan Rogers. What's his name? Gibbs White, where he will sign a contract out of nowhere with a release clause to go, or he leaves. I don't think there's a scenario where he will just stay and not and reintegrate without signing a contract, because from what we hear, there's been promises about a contract that they've gone back on and stuff. So I think literally tomorrow, Wednesday, whatever, we'll hear something about it, and I expect this one to sort of close ASAP. But let's say, Manny, you say you only think we get Isak potentially. What about Gahey? Do you think we'll get that centre back that we're still linked with?
See, the Gahey thing is the thing that I'm more kind of 50-50 on in terms of if we get it done this window, because the standoff, like obviously from doing my research on it, the standoff is actually like a very, very fair standoff if you look at it. So like obviously we don't want to overpay for a player that's going to be free in 12 months, which is understandable. We've offered 35 mil, which in any scenario would have probably been enough to get the deal done months ago. But with Palace having this 20% sell-on clause to Chelsea, 35 million isn't 35 million to them. It's way less. So it's like they're trying to still kind of profit from it, whilst taking into account this sell-on they've got to give to Chelsea, which is why they're trying to bump up to like the 40 to 45, because they're not getting all of that money. But obviously we don't care about that. We just don't want to get bumped out of a deal for a player, because obviously we can use all of these 12 months to do the groundwork and we can sign for free next year. So I think on deadline day, Liverpool are literally just going to go up to Palace and say, look, it's deadline day, 35 mil or nothing. Literally, that is the ultimatum they're going to have on deadline day. And it's just going to be down to if Steve Parish takes it. And I don't know. I feel like he has to take it. Once it's like deadline day, like do or die, surely he has to say yes. But I still don't know for sure.
He's come out and said they need to sell him, essentially, that they need the money. They can't afford to like let him go on a free, whereas Gahey is pretty happy running it down and playing 38 games and getting the minutes in. But yeah, if you had to, Raf, do you know, like come September, do you think we'll get two and one? How many do you reckon gets done in the end, and who as well?
I reckon Isak doesn't get done.
Doesn't?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get him.
If we don't, I think we'd be in a bit of trouble, big trouble.
Yeah, but I think it will be a situation where we revisit in January, and then them ones. Not that we completely leave. Yeah, not that we completely leave. I reckon it's something that we revisit in January. But I think Gahey, that should get done. I feel like it's like what you said, what Manny said, deadline day, like last minute bid. I reckon that one does get done. So I'm just thinking one, and I don't see another attacker coming in, even like apart from Isak.
And sorry, my mic just went there. Manny, are you the same? Do you think just the one comes in, or do you think we get two, Isak and Gahey?
Yeah, man. I feel like everything is literally just like a balance right now. Like there's so many arguments, very valid arguments for either result happening. I want to say, for the sake of being positive, I feel like I've got a nagging feeling that Gahey does happen. I feel like that Gahey will happen, and because of the players' kind of preference of playing for Liverpool, and we're the only real key suitors there, I feel like Steve Parish is just gonna have to be like, take the money, like it's something. It's better than nothing, basically. So I think I'll get done on deadline day, because deadline day is the only day that bargaining or that negotiation tool activates. You know what I mean? So that we'll have to wait. Isak, honestly, it's crazy. I for one, I just want the saga to be over as well, because it's almost boring at this point. But I feel like it's just going on for too long, exactly. And I feel like the murmurings, I've been trying to kind of just predict and analyze the stories, and because the thing is, what I've learned from transfer windows, especially these last couple of years, it's like these briefings that Ornstein and Fabrizio get and all of this stuff. It's like there's actually a whole like underworld of what's actually happening, because obviously the club brief whatever the club want to brief, and they'll have their own narratives they want to push. They'll have their own scenarios they want to paint, and a lot of people in the general football industry just take it as gospel. Whatever they say, they just take it as pure gospel. Why would they lie? They're the club. Why do they need to lie? But if you go deeper than that, it's like these things are getting put out for a reason, and these briefs are getting put out for a reason. And I feel like the entire Isak saga, I feel like they've just been building it up so that they can let him leave and it would reflect better on Newcastle, if you know what I mean. Like at the beginning, when we first put in the bid, it was literally a case of like, if Newcastle sell their best player to Liverpool, the fans are going to riot because why are you selling him? Now they've kind of painted him out to be kind of the bad figure that he is. As the weeks have gone on, the idea of losing Isak just becomes more and more accepted to the point where, like you said, like the guys want him out. Like Eddie Howe probably wants him out. Some of his teammates definitely want him out, and fans definitely want him out as well. So I feel like they'll definitely have to make something happen there, especially after these talks yesterday broken down. I feel like it's in their best interest to sell him. I feel like we'll go in with an 130 to like, even have you seen the story that they're willing to take 130 now?
Yeah, like, I've seen. We won't pay 150.
We won't.
We won't go to those levels, I don't think.
The most recent thing that I saw was it was going to be an initial bid of 120 with 15 to 20 added on.
It's going to be something like that.
That's still what, 140, isn't it? If we pay
130, 135.
And that would be a compromise for both sides, you know, like Newcastle will get far and away a record transfer fee for a player in the Premier League. And yeah, obviously, like if we start paying out 150 million, like it will be a really bad precedent for like future transfers that we make as well. Because
it's going to be like that Neymar effect where it affects every other deal we do.
Absolutely.
The Premier League as well.
Yeah, for everybody, not even just us. I think like just the fees will they're already gone crazy, but we'll just hit another level.
Yeah, that's already in motion with like Utara going for like 40 mil and stuff. So that part of it is already in motion. But like, that could make it even worse.
Yeah, but I think it happens, you know. I'm more confident that we get Isak than Guehi, for example, because as it stands, we still have 4 centre-backs if you count Leone Gomez. I was actually speaking to an Arsenal fan about our attacking depth, and I was counting how many Arsenal forwards they have. They've got 9 forwards as it stands. When you look at, they've got Saka, Madueke, Gyökeres, Havertz, Jesus,
Trossard,
Eze
now.
I'm not even counting Daumann. If you count Daumann, it's 10 players. And we've got 5, 6 with Rio. So they've obviously got much more depth than us in that forward line.
They've got depth, but it's not quality though.
It's not. It's not.
But they've got the numbers.
It's the numbers. It's the numbers. And do you know what it is? It's like, I don't understand. Like, hopefully when we finish the window, we'll see what the plan was. But it's like, I don't understand why you would remove attacking options from the team. Like,
as I said, I think a big reason why we won the league last year is because we had 6 senior forwards that can get a goal.
Absolutely.
And we've now
we had 5.
We've now got 4.5 essentially. So we've got Salah, we've got Chiesa, Gakpo, Ekitike, Rio if you count him in there as he's a youngster, and then Wirtz if you count him because
I don't count Wirtz.
So if you don't count Wirtz, then we've not got much in terms of pure numbers. We are short in pure numbers. And then Arsenal, they've got like 9, 10 if you count their youngsters like with Daumann. So if we don't sign Isak, I think it's going to be. We might be in a bit of trouble.
I think Arsenal are just so scarred from last season and literally kind of losing their whole attack in like a month. I think that has pretty scarred them. So like they now have just like absolutely safe proof their attacking options, which is fair enough. But like from ourselves, like I would love to be a fly in the wall in those meetings, because it's one of two things is happening in there. It's either they're super, super relaxed and this was their plan all along. And if that case, like I would love to know why, or they're frantically trying to sort stuff out and they might actually be quite disappointed, because I don't know what you guys think. Do you think this window so far has gone to plan for Liverpool?
Yes and no.
I'm the same as well. Yes and no.
I think the Jota thing happening, I think Jota was going to stay. And if Jota stays, we're chilling right now. We've got another senior forward and we just buy one more. But because Jota, so again, what happened so unexpected, and we were always going to sell Nunes. And I
Yeah.
think Diaz is a situation where it's a business decision where the money is too good with the player only 2 years on his contract. He wants to leave. We're not going to give him 200K a week because arguably he's not worth it.
Yeah.
And then it's come to that point where we had to get rid of 2 of our players, and then obviously with Jota. So I think Chiesa as well. He might have been. I think there was rumors that he wanted to leave as well, but because we've literally so light now, I think Chiesa and even Elliot might stay because they might have to at this point because we are that short. When I was looking at our bench last night, I did feel like we're quite short on the attack here.
Yeah,
we are.
So, but I wouldn't worry because I still think Isak's going to happen. Like, I'm 99% sure. Like, I'm confident on that deal because it doesn't make sense why Newcastle are bidding for Strand Larsen and all these guys if they don't have any like sort of a to sell Isak. So
yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me.
I got a quick question though. Do you guys worry that because Isak's not had a preseason, he's not playing right now? Do you think that if we do sign him, that's going to affect like injuries for him? Because obviously he's had injuries in the past. Do you think that would be an issue?
I don't think we need to rush him really into proceedings.
Yeah.
I think we're in a position, although like we're talking about us being short, at the very least, we know that we have a striker who's competent and can do the job. So I think that gives us enough time to kind of blood him in. We'll definitely put him through the paces of like a mini preseason, and then we'll just ease him into games. I reckon he'll be coming off the bench for like the first 2 or 3 games, maybe start Champions League or in the Cup, and then we'll get him up to speed as the others. And then he's just a kind of naturally great athlete anyway. So in terms of being up to speed, I don't think it'll take him that long. And our staff are usually quite good in terms of managing injury and workload and that kind of stuff. So that would be my biggest kind of hope and expectation for that, really.
Yeah, with Isak, I'm not too worried about sort of him reintegrating back in because I know he hasn't played in a while. Obviously, he's sort of been gone AWOL in Spain or wherever he's been training. But I think once we get him, I'll be a lot more confident. It's just at the moment, as it still stands, if Ekitike gets an injury, we're playing Chiesa up front. That's what it is like. So I do think we need to get in a forward, and I'm confident we'll do it. And once we do that, Isak's in. If we get Gay as well, I'd fully expect us to retain it. Going into and having a good season. So. Yeah, man. I would have loved a left mid. I would have loved another like left winger. Sorry, I should say. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Rio, the pathway is there for him. There's no point in buying a Malik Fofana who's 20 years old.
Yeah, he's on Rio.
Yeah, that's what I think. But
I asked you guys. I was gonna say on Rio. Like now, the situation is looking like it is, and the squad is. Let's say we do sign Isak. How would you manage Rio's minutes now? Because like he's like obviously your life changes. He's a Premier League goal scorer now. Do you know what I mean? Like
4th youngest, I think, ever.
Yeah, for us, he's the youngest ever one. He's the 4th youngest in the history of the Prem, or 3rd youngest, I think it was. So it's like 3rd youngest scorer in the Premier League. It's like all of a sudden you go from that 16-year-old kid, like he might get a couple minutes there. Now it's like you're now stuck in a catch-22 because you want him to ride this wave that he's created for himself and kind of take it on. But then you also don't want to overplay him. But then you also don't want to kind of put a downer on him as well. So it's like, how do you now manage it so that he reaches his potential? How many minutes, like what kind of games do you reckon he plays this season? How would you go about it?
I think he'll play Carabao Cups. I think he'll start all those Carabao Cup games. He'll play FA Cup games. In terms of the league, I think he'll be similar coming on. I don't think he'll get many starts. I mean, who knows? But I don't want us to like rush him in, sort of, and rely on him, kind of thing. I think Arsenal tried it last year when Ranieri, and I don't think you should just chuck in a player in that young in a title sort of race. And we're going to try to win the Champions League as well. So it's a lot of pressure to ask on a kid. So I would rather have him as a backup and getting minutes here and there, sort of bedding in, rather than chucking him sort of into the lion's den. And because if he has that one bad game or whatever, the pitchforks with certain fans. But I think he's a top player, and we just need to make sure he stays grounded, which I think he will. Always got a good, background, and from what I hear, he's a good kid. But I'm sure he'll get a good minutes.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same as you. I think don't start in Prem games unless like we've come to a situation where like Gakpo's injured, Ekitike's injured. Like
Yeah,
that's the only time that I'd say starting. But Prem games allow it, and then FA Cup, Carabao Cup, yeah, the early rounds I'd start him, and then
I'd start him every Carabao game because with Carabao, I hope we don't take that competition seriously. Honestly,
what? Why?
yeah, I just think it always messes us up in Champions League time. When it comes to March, we
Nah,
A
usually.
lot of games that kind of time, to be fair.
I do agree. Yeah,
I hope I want to win the Champions League. This year, I want us to go far, and I think we can if we.
Yeah. But the only thing is, it's like, to be fair, now our depth isn't actually that much, so it does make sense not to go far in the Carabao Cup, for example.
yeah,
But like, for example, last season, it's like we went out really early in the FA Cup, for example.
Yeah.
So that meant Elliot's minutes were gone, Chiesa's minutes
Yeah.
were gone, Trainioni's minutes were gone. Like, all of a sudden, it's like their season's just finished, just like that. So it's like you almost want to go as far as you can in everything, so then more people have the chance to get up to speed to show what they can do to maybe play more in other competitions. But it's like, yeah, but the thing is, though, overwhelmingly, like I do agree with you though, because when you get to March, you've got 2 legs of a Carabao Cup game. You can get 2 legs of a Champions League game. Then you've got a final a few weeks later. Like that part of the season gets very, very intense.
And then
And
Salah AFCON this year as well.
Oh, yeah.
And he never does well after AFCON.
No, he doesn't.
So that's another worry I have. So yeah, but if we get Isak, I wouldn't worry about AFCON at all. If I'm being honest, like I think Isak will cover.
Yeah.
Ekitike will cover. Frimpong, if he has to play bits on the right, we'll be fine. But we 100% need to bring in that one attacker. And I think Slot said it himself. We need another attacker. Before that comment he made about Frimpong.
Yeah, he didn't specify either if it was a striker or a winger. He said just straight up an attacker. So
yeah, and he didn't actually mention Rio as part of the 6. He didn't even he mentioned Wirtz as a left winger. So I don't know what he might change his mind after yesterday, but that was interesting that he didn't say Rio as an actual option for us.
Yeah, I think he just needs to, because I think he's smart to not do that, because it's like you have to still manage the expectation of it.
Yeah.
Once you mention him publicly as an option for you, now you're kind of under pressure to bring him on in situations, and it's like, and they'll be saying to him like, "Oh, you said he's an option. Bring him on. Why aren't you playing Rio?" It will just become one massive thing. So yeah, I think he done right by not mentioning him as an option, because yeah, it would put quite a bit of pressure on the kid even now. But off the back of that as well, like if you're not going to mention him as an option, like I'm not a big fan of him saying Wirtz is an option there, because that's now what you're calling you're just putting square pegs in round holes basically. Like you're just fitting players in for the sake of it. Like you're acting like you're scrambling to just have a squad, but you've got as much money as you've ever had. Like you don't need to be doing this really. So yeah, I really hope that this is kind of smoke screens and we get the players that we want.
Yep. I still think we get 2. Hopefully we'll have another stream by then. I think, when are we playing Arsenal? Is it next Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah, 4:30.
Yeah, that's a big one. We have to win already. It feels like.
Oh, it's big, man. I'm not confident for that, bro. I can't lie. I'm not confident yet, but hopefully we'll.
Yeah, if we play like we did against Newcastle, then yeah, it's a long day. But I don't think we will. It's Anfield.
Yeah,
we'll raise it. I think
we'll definitely raise that. I don't think we'll play that bad. But the thing that I just want to, I'm most worried about, and hopefully we'll work on, the set pieces. Like every single set piece, we look shaky, and that's Newcastle. Like Newcastle, like they're a good set piece team, but they're not Arsenal. Like Arsenal score set pieces at will, like at will. If they want to score a set piece, best believe they're going to score one night. So that's the only thing that worries me. Like, are we going to be able to keep a clean sheet? And with Arsenal, they can just score one goal and
we won't keep a clean sheet. I don't think.
Nah, there's no way.
We seem so far removed about keeping a clean sheet these days. I just think it's going to be one of those. We got to outscore them, and I think we could pretty easily put a couple past Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a stream for sure on that game.
100%.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. It's been just over an hour. Pretty long one.
Yeah, that flew by.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll probably be back maybe pre-Arsenal game, just to discuss that one. I want to sort of tie it in with transfer deadline day. So hopefully Isak, Guehi, we've brought someone in. So that'll be a good time to stream. But yeah, thanks for joining, Manny. Thanks for joining, Raf, as always. Also, if you're watching, guys, on a playback, you know, if you're watching it live, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed, and yeah, see you on the next stream. Thank you, guys, and take care.
Peace.
Peace.